So I'm here, sitting here thinking tonight, thinking on some proper stuff, some cultural stuff, things that I've been involved with, things that I've, participated in. I've said before that, like, I want to disconnect myself from, like, the whole internet scene. I don't want to hang around a bunch of stuffy people. Um, I don't want to hang around a bunch of people who just aren't good influences and don't really know how to take care of their life and, like, you know what I mean? Like some people they just really don't know how to carry themselves or like they don't carry themselves into a energy that like I can really feel or get behind. I totally get people and like you guys got to exist however whatever. Some of these people, you know what I mean? Like they're controversial. So, whatever. I'm just sitting here thinking about some of my old projects today. Some people who have found me through my old projects and kind of all like the warping of the original intention. I want to go out on a limb and say that like, well, it was performative where I started and where I would go. It was fairly performative. It was fairly theatrical. You know what I mean? But I don't necessarily think that it was all like what some people really think it was. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like I don't know how to explain it because I don't feel like I can just be like sterile and clinical about all of this stuff. I got friends who talk with me about like Atrax Morgue or like Murder Corporation, all that Italian stuff, Death Odors, Mount Houghton Orchestra, even White House or Ramla, Broken Flag. I've never really thought about myself as like a sterile and clinical artist, even from the beginning. Um, I think that people don't really know that like it's never really my intention to focus in on the depravity. I'd say like the big thing about it has always been like the atmosphere, the existential aspect, the existential element. Um, I don't know. It's just all like maybe there was like some dissociative processes that I didn't really fully comprehend. I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to like come off and saying like hey, um, whatever. Do I stand beside it now? No, no. And like later on into the future, I had some projects that I don't necessarily think, you know what I mean, were like what people thought they were. I think people found me through a putrid object. I think people misinterpreted the inspiration I took from Thistle Harlequin. Um, I don't know. Who knows? No one really tells me about this stuff, but people have found me. I want to say through Putrid Object. The project was, how it unfolded. That project I've always wanted to talk about more in depth. I haven't even got around to it because that's when life started becoming more personal for me. That's one of those transitional periods. I don't want to talk about my personal life back then. It wasn't really documented. My memories were like, you know what I mean? They're there, but like that was a whole different time for me. Putrid Object was all like a different time. Um, it's so hard because like I don't know. It's weird to think that people kind of like take out of context all like the message. I don't know how to explain it. I'm just making assumptions right now, so it doesn't really make sense. But to me, I just wanted to like clear it up just in case there is any confusion. I'm not saying there is any confusion. This is like the one thing that like people don't really have confusion on, and usually they follow it on their own abstract levels. Putrid Object was, I liked the concept of the film. Okay. I loved Thistle Harlequin's work. Alexander Guerrero, I believe his name is. I like the behind the scenes footage. I liked his YouTube stuff. I did a whole YouTube archive of his years and years and years ago when his account got taken down, probably because of his excessive usage of a certain word that we're not going to repeat here, and we didn't repeat in that either. Um, I don't know. I like the idea. it was kind of like morbid and disturbing that this dude just went out and got a cow head so he could like pay for like heroin, and like, you know what I mean? I don't want to like celebrate that either. It's disturbing, but like I don't know, because I don't like gore stuff. I'm gonna put that right through. I don't want to go into that video. I don't want to go into the analysis. I don't want to go into all this stuff. It was a melancholic experience, and it was an ethereal one for me. I think that was what separated it as a film for me, that it had this ethereal quality to it. Um, Personally, I like the ethereal. I don't like the gory. I like the disassociation, the dissociation of, all. It's like my favorite thing about art. My favorite things about films. They're not too like cerebral, And I felt like this film kind of like transcended that. I'm learning more and more every day how like some of my favorite artists also are like terrible people. Um, I hear some stuff, and it's just all like, I don't want you guys to think when you go through Scumalis and you see this sort of all like ethereal stuff, and it's just all like the southern, the held back, the nuance, the soft. That stuff for me, and I'll be 100% clear with this, it's never been like a sexual thing. Like, I want to say that because, like, I was learning about Nicole Dollanganger, and she's a weirdo, dude. She was posting stuff on Tumblr that she definitely shouldn't have been posting. I never saw that scene. I never saw any of that stuff on that level of like weirdness. I've always thought like the ethereal was to transcend, to be untouched by human, to be like pure, to be like ghostly, You just all like, you don't have to be held back by this like physical, by that's another place of analysis for me, that I like to like drop the skin and just all like, you know, imagine myself like above or whatever, just hiding in the shadows as like a ghost or something. Just all like the whole flesh thing, It's just like I never really looked in the mirror and saw like a person that like I really truly enjoyed. I don't think that this reflects me. I don't at all. I see a person when I look in the mirror that's all like so totally abstracted from what I would, represent myself with. I think of myself as like, I don't know how to explain it. It's really hard, but yeah, no, that's like the whole process from beginning to end too. It's like dissociation. I don't like to have like skin in any game. I don't like to have a bunch of connection to things, and people think that just all like I can keep doing it, but it's just all like I gotta look for new ways to like numb myself. Um, I don't want to include like super super personal stuff. And like there have been rare occasions back in the day, rare occasions. And like the waters are muddy. The waters are definitely muddy. Like 2016 was crazy, and I was stupid, and I was naive, and I was like seeking attention, especially from labels and artists back in the day that were really popular. I wouldn't do that now. And some of those artists I hear people talk about, I'm really glad they don't talk about me. I really appreciate how like I went under the radar, and like cuz I have friends back in the day, and they're just all like, well, I had this friend I was talking to, I'm all like, "What did you think about this project?" I don't remember that one. I just remember this one, and she's all like, "We definitely collaborated quite a bit." That was all like one of my friends. I got a friend in the Middle East, and if you know him, you know him. He's like big political guy now. I don't know what he's doing. I kind of want to ask, but at the same time, it's just all like that whole circle I got back into touch with for a brief period of time, maybe like I want to say 5 years ago, because I was in Michigan, and this was like right before I left. And I had friends reaching out to me like, "Hey, why are you talking to this guy?" Like, it was one of the people in the circles, like, yeah, this guy's, like, weird. He was, like, really terrible to my girlfriend. So you gotta, like, probably cut him out or I'm actually gonna leave. I'm just all like, buddy, I respect you way more than I respect this dude. I'll totally, be cool about it. It's chill. I was looking at my Rate Your Music too, like, oh, you know what I mean? You look at that classic stuff and the stuff that's documented. I want to put it all out myself. I want to have control over it. I don't want my past to dictate. There's just that tiny sliver of all, like, you know what I mean? And there's still stuff that's just all like weird, dude. I don't want to be connected to weirdness. I don't want to be seen as a weirdo. Um, I have cut people out who thought I was like weird. Like, dog, if you don't like my momentum, you don't like my energy, or you bring out the worst in me, I just can't do it. God, no. It's just all like this whole minefield. Like, I totally respect the sentiment. I totally respect the direction. I totally respect the critique. And, like, there's also a part of me that just wants to move on from it. That, like, doesn't want to, like, live in that. Because I didn't ever get anything from it. It was just all, like, me attention seeking. You know what I mean? But, like, the more nuanced stuff, for what was going on in 2016. People thought it was all like like an affirmation, like it was like representation, and that's like something that's really important to me too. Like, when something of mine comes out and people like look at it and they feel represented by it, like, it's weird because I make this music to represent myself, like, especially like the past all like 5 years of stuff. Again, Michigan, maybe like six years of stuff. Goes back further, but I don't want to say the other one. Um, it's just all like souls hidden in the woods, surrender of self, um, shine from the ground, process and meaning. Those things represent me like more purely. I was really inspired by like Philip K. Dick when I was writing those albums, and like, you know, I mean, especially for Shine from the Ground, Process and Meaning. Like, I was really into, like, Valis at one point and A Scanner Darkly at another point. And, like, A Scanner Darkly definitely inspired Shine from the Ground and Process and Meaning. And Severed Connections as well. All those short stories were written, like, right after I was reading A Scanner Darkly for a while. And, like, I was reading, like, the Nova trilogy back then. I don't know. It's just all, like, I'm just chilling on it. But it's weird because, like, I keep telling myself, like, I want to drop all this stuff. I have like a big list of every album that I've ever been on, I've ever collaborated with, I've ever been affiliated with, I've ever submitted a track to. Um, and then I just sit here and I'm just all like, do I want to put it up? Because it's like stupid if I put it up. Regardless, it's just gonna be like sitting there and it's gonna be like ugly and it's gonna be like a headache, and I don't necessarily want to like get into it. You know what I mean? I don't want to say any names. I don't want to do anything. Some of these people still operate, and some of these people still get like attention, and they still get like their music posted places, and they still get talked about, and like they're still doing what they did, and like I just wanted to grow, and like that's where all this stuff comes from. I can't really talk too much on Scum Alice. It's an abstraction of an abstraction of an abstraction. I have stories about it, but like overall it was like a meditation. Putrid Object was writing. I wrote a lot of that. I sung a lot of that, you know what I mean? Like, it was real true process, and it was a good one. Alleviated Trauma is just proto Putrid Object if you're interested in that. The World is a Terrible Place, Empty Cut, more proto what would become a Putrid Object. And Muddy Dolls is also a really important one. I'm gonna move away from edgy stuff. I'm gonna move into more like clarity, I hope. I want to take pictures, and like I want to see sunsets, and I want to see like bodies of water. I want to go walk through parks, and I want to like experience the beauty of the world while we still have it. And yeah, I don't want to get fixated on this stuff because it's just like terminally online bullshit. Like, if you watch to this point, I really appreciate it. This is still a really important point I want to make. Terminally online bullshit is garbage. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of listening to the same artist that everyone else listens to, just online music. Like, I know Pachinko's like really big and it's like crazy and it's good and stuff. I don't know. It's just all like, the only issue is it's just like so internet. It's like so internet coded. It's all like 100 gecs. No one got tired of them. Um, I don't know. There's so many other artists I can just talk about. PC music. It's just all like hyper pop. All this like chronically online music is just all like so boring to me now, dude. It's been like, I've been doing this for like too long. I was really into it back in the day. I was like into Kylie Minogue, Sia, and then I went on to all the internet stuff. Hannah Diamond, Slater, Aisha Erotica, 100 gecs, like Charlie XCX. I was onto that. I was really putting in the work. AG Cook, um, I don't know. It's just like all these artists, they really can only like capture a space online and they're famous. And I was like I was making this post the other day. I saw this famous artist, play live, at a venue. It's cool. It's whatever. It didn't sound dynamic. It didn't sound fun. It was just like boring. All the music just bled into each other, and like, I guess for an industrial act, that's fine. That's cool because all like, it's like Funkelvolt or whatever you want to say. Like, but no, dude, he just sat there alone the whole time. Maybe he talked to people. I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy eating some tacos, dude. They were so good. I remember that night. It was crazy. I was eating the tacos and I was all like, damn, they don't have any sauce to put on these things. I'm just gonna have to eat these with this like mild sauce they put on the side. And I was just all like going crazy on these. It's just all like very perfect night when you're eating some tacos. They were like not even good tacos. Like, they weren't great. I have a place that I go to. That's what I was thinking of. I was thinking of that place I go to all the time. Dude's lovely. I love them. Just good people. And like, no, eating some food makes me more excited than seeing some stupid celebrity. Like, no disrespect to him. I'm just saying priorities. If you put some food in front of me, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. Regardless, I'm not gonna care. Why would I care, dude? Why would I care about this internet celebrity culture? Everyone's getting more and more pretentious and alienated, and they hate more and more people. And I'm supposed to be all like, oh, that's totally cool. I got a friend who does like podcasts. Not a friend at all. I absolutely hate this person, and I never talk to them ever. Anyway, I have this friend who does podcasts. Somebody I don't know. But like, they're so annoying and I don't like them, and no one I ever talked to said anything good about this person. And I don't talk to anybody because it's just all like, you know what I mean? Eventually I'll find somebody who probably likes this person, but I just don't like the popular people in the scene. It's just all like, you've transcended the scene. What are you going to do now? You're going to ditch everyone and run away, and I don't know, go be miserable somewhere else. That's just like my thought. Like, if you've transcended, if you put yourself in a position with leverage over other people because of like status or something else, do you really trust those people? I will never hold power in my life. I'm going to continue going down that path. I'm going to continue living my life to my extent and my own happiness. I have accepted that, like, I don't want anything more from people. I'm totally cool with that. Like, if you guys just want it, my only obligation is just like availability. That's it. And I don't ask for anything back, and I don't want to give like a ton back. I do keep a big personal life. My life, very personal. I don't like to add that to the music unless I'm writing a story to have the music. And sometimes life can go alongside the music, but like the life outside the music, I don't want to share that like a ton. I really don't. I just want to have my own life to my own self. I don't know how to explain it. You guys like my Dollar Tree cup? I'm drinking a lemon. It's like a kidney and immune system, I think, thing, or skin, kidney and skin, possibly. Um, it's lemon, really good. It's like the medical series of teas. I like them. And anyway, yeah, no, I hate to complain. I really do. I'm just watching a documentary about a person who I know follows me on one of my accounts. I'm just wondering if this person found me through my Putrid Object project, or was just like genuinely curious. But I think it was a Putrid Object or the stuff I've done in the past. If this dude knows anything about noise, he definitely knows about my projects. And while I like to keep, my more edgy stuff separate from me, I also, I don't know how to explain it. It's just a difficult one. I'm not into gore. Um, I used to be into like the whole true crime aspect of it, the mystery, and the atmosphere. Um, but no, it's just too grotesque and violent for me. The violence is what really took me apart. I'm just all like, I don't like it being this violent. That's like the only thing. Um, if there's anything super like controversial back in the day, I wouldn't take it seriously because I had my toes in the water for this stuff, and like I wasn't like really whatever. I was pushing myself through like anxiety and existential fear and like the pain that comes alongside that. So it's not me, and I don't want it to ever be me. I just want to like move on with my life and like experience good things and like focus on beauty and like love and stuff. As corny as that sounds, I got people who sub quote me or talk about me, in post like they vague post or whatever. It's just like, oh, people talk about positivity and love, like it's just like, I know you're talking about me. Like, no, it's just usually right after I say it, but like, dog, things are so terrible all the time. You don't ever just want to like drink some tea and like watch a sunset or some shit. You think you want to be in home, like just watching, I don't know, TV all the time or something. I don't know. It's just all like everything to excess. Everything has to be like monumental and sacrificial. It's the only way to make our contemporary gods happy. To constantly participate in Circus Maximus. Like the world is here for you, and it's welcoming you, and the beauty of the world, it wants you to protect it. Mother Nature, it's just like all these aspects and these elements, like all these people out here, they just want some like you know momentum. They want to see your energy. They want to, and it's like intoxicating, right? I don't know how to explain it. I just like to have fun. I like to eat food. I like to drink drinks. You know what I mean? I really like my yerbas right now. Sometimes I get really into coffee. Sometimes I get really into tea. I've been drinking a lot of those sarsaparillas. I drink kombuchas about every day. I like kimchi a lot, and eggs, and salmon, and I like oatmeal, and I like grits, and I like curry quite a bit. I like rice. I like beans. I like I like tacos. Dude, I just love food. That's like my thing. I like food and music. I've been listening to so much music. I'll talk about music all the time. Um, when it comes to my life, I like listening to a lot of jazz stuff, especially Congolese jazz. And I like a lot of West African stuff. I like Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Ghana, Benin, I think it's called. I say Benin, but I know it's like Benin. Um, God, there's just so much stuff in this world to get into. It doesn't start and stop with like one thing. I like the mystery, Benin's perfect for mystery. Um, I like playing Shadow Man. I think that perfectly captures just like where my head was back in the day. It's really heavy, but it's all like surprisingly meditative. You know what I mean? Even though my music wasn't meditative all the time. Some of that stuff was crazy though, and I'll still revisit it. I'll still listen to my old music. I don't care. Um, there's a part of that was like very special for me, and like I hope it's special for you guys. I don't really like the loud stuff anymore. I don't really like the annoying stuff, the joke stuff, and the whatever. And I feel really guilty, and like I feel a bit of shame for like the stuff I was all like putting out there. And I'd like to apologize to some people. They're never gonna see this. They never they never followed me after that. But like I like to apologize because all like it was a performative piece of like existential self exploration, the darkness that came alongside like my restlessness and like my rebellious streak. Sometimes I think that like how I was raised definitely inspired me to be more rebellious, and I wish I wasn't. I wish I could have been like at least all like you know what I mean, a little bit, but not too much. I whatever. I'm so scatterbrained and like I don't want to go against everything, but at the same time I at least can like be intelligent about stuff and like realize that I've seen quite a bit, and like I'm kind of glad that you know what I mean? Like I can just do my own thing and like be my own person and be like somewhat educated. I don't think I'm too smart. I'll be real with you. I can absorb a lot of knowledge and like I can reflect on it. Maybe this like everybody, but like I'm not super analytical. I'm not super consistent. It's really hard for me. Um, I put in the effort to learn stuff. I really just bang it into my head over and over and over and over again. Like, um, yeah, no. So all this stuff isn't really coming from a super intelligent place. When I was like first making music and I was first like um, approaching philosophy. Might have been talking about books back then. I wasn't reading a ton, and like the stuff I was reading, I wasn't like analyzing a ton. My analysis back then was like so dumb. I said a lot of stupid things that make no sense in hindsight, and like I participated in like really stupid cultural shit that just all like ultimately was meaningless and was like total psyop. Um, if you want to know, since you've watched it this long, I appreciate you. I'm gonna just go out on a tangent. I was really into like the pseudo intellectual community of like conservatism, the separation of like culture and like you know what I mean, intellect. I liked the aesthetic. I liked the momentum of just all like deconstructing. And like to an extent, some of this stuff definitely seemed like psyops. I'll be real with you. Um, like money laundering or just all like whatever. That Jackson Pollock was CIA, right? I mean, like we all know that. And sometimes I do think that like abstract art is a little CIA coded. It's a little like whatever. I don't know. I'm really into objectivity now, so I can kind of see where I was coming from back then. Um, with the rise of I think that's like the perfect example. I don't necessarily think that like I don't know. It's just laziness. You know what I mean? Like stuff without intent. That's a whole other conversation for a whole nother day. But like everything's so like put under a microscope, and yeah, no, I kind of get it, but also it was like really stupid. I think more of the social connotations of whatever. My stupid self as a child, is all like rugged individualism, and like as I get older, I realize that you need to affirm yourself through community, culture, um, diversity, love, appreciation. There are people out here who are just normal people who are living lives that are very similar to yours, but you might not share a lot in common. And those people deserve so much love. They deserve so much love and they deserve so much care. And Yeah, as a kid, I'm just all like, I was so separated from everyone. It was like misanthropy. It was all like everyone. Like, I was so disconnected. I was all like, everyone hates me. Everyone wants to. And then I, grew up. I lived life. The big thing about like these young adults is they think they've lived life, but you'll live more and more life every day, and you'll realize like how naive and arrogant you truly are. You're going to find some really truly beautiful things, and it's going to change your perspective on a lot of things. Even if you're like a good person to begin with, sometimes you're a bad person and you'll find those things, but some people, they just never grow up, and it's really sad. um I don't really have anything else to talk about. Just like this has been a theme for me, right? Just approaching my past, and like, because I'm watching this video, I told you, and like I'm just like really sad about it. Like, I don't want to like come off as all like this person who affirms negativity and stuff. It's just all like, sometimes I just wish I could like start all over again and do something else as, that age. But like, I was into cassette culture, all that stuff. I already said the bands, all the projects. And like, I don't know, it's just weird. It's weird to hear people talk about those albums or like praise those albums. Like, I personally kind of wish those albums didn't exist anymore. And then some people, they get really like weird about me releasing archive. And like, to be honest, it's just like it helps cement the story. It's not necessarily meant to be like a listen. Some of it's just samples organized like it'd be like a little project. You got a little 7-minute EP of just archive samples, and it's like crazy. I really truly love it. I love the concept myself. I don't really know what it's really building towards, but I really do everything for myself. So I hope you guys know that. Thank you for watching this far, by the way. Um, I don't know if anyone's curious. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just sitting here talking about this stuff, and it's just all like, it's important to me. Um, I have fun with it. I'm a really big fan of Zappa, Frank Zappa, and Prince. I like looking through their archives, and I love looking through their new stuff, and I like hearing all their samples and all their outtakes and like all their B-sides. And I love artists with like big archives. Ween is another one. They have so many tapes, and they have so many like projects. I really love the Pod. It's like my favorite collection. I know it goes into Pure Guava. I think that's what they said, but the Pod is all like so cold and brown. I don't know how to explain it, but it's so good. Just, I don't know, just sitting here talking about all my favorite stuff and where I come from. I've already talked about Gripper and other ones. There's Lamborghini Crystal, James Ferraro, iAsia. Um, I've already talked about John and Yoko's Unfinished Music Part 1. I've already talked about whatever. Cruise of the Night Biker Strip 1977. I don't know. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas has been the biggest inspiration from the beginning to now. Like sometime around 2016 to now. Um, when I first started making music, I was like really into Taxi Driver. That was like my favorite movie. I used to watch it over and over again. I had it on VHS tape. I watched it, at home. One time I had a buddy over and we were just watching it, and it just got a little too racist, and I had to turn off. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was apologizing. I'm like, I didn't, you know what I mean? My media literacy was terrible back then, too. Jesus. That's like the thing. Like, sitting here thinking about all the stuff I was into and all the media literacy and the philosophy failings I made. I like to abstract it further and further because I don't like to own up to the fact that I was like really stupid. I have a lot of short stories written from 2016. Those things are never getting published. I promise you that. I've published like a few that were like decent, and like there's a picture. It was like a factory, and it had like bodies, and it was like raining, and like they're getting dug into a whatever. And there's another one. I don't think I ever published it. And then like I revived some of these in like this abstract thing recently, where I was like writing about these like this hierarchy of like people who existed within this like interzone kind of realm of like it was like a purgatory where like the patients are like the lower class on the hierarchy and like the doctors are like top class, and they have like esoteric leaders, and like they're all separated through philosophy, and some exist over here in this village, some exist in this like abandoned hospital, and like the protagonist is all like perpetually just like going in and just all like having hallucinations where the whole world like shatters around him, and then it's just all like they all kind of swear by these tomes, and they're kind of based around my early albums, and like Mistrust in Style was all like the doctors, I think it was, or maybe it was the patients, I don't remember, but like it had to be the doctors because it's like MK Ultra, right? To be honest, the idea of Mistrust in Style, I don't think I've ever mentioned it too much, but it's like MK Ultra. That's what it's supposed to be like. I don't know. Really inspired by like Inner Zone and Naked Lunch. Kind of like the basic concept that like Burroughs was like flirting with. And like 5 years ago when I was in Michigan, when I was like doing everything apparently, I did write that story, and I was like taking screenshots of a Doom map I made of a hospital that was supposed to be like loosely connected through the lore, and I was just acting like this hospital was like taken with like Polaroids or something. But yeah, no, it's just all like I had fun with that. I wish I could republish that, but like at the same time, it's way better in concept than in execution. I'm gonna tell you that. But it's about dreams I had too. I had this dream as a kid, or dream years and years ago. I just remember it really good because it's like a really cool dream. It was all like my elementary school in like the bathroom. But when you open up the bathroom, it was like a retro vintage doctor's office, and like there's like it was like all brown and gritty and low lighting, and like there's a big table in the center. Now I don't remember exactly what happened. I have it written down probably somewhere, but that's just like the visual I get every time I think of this too. So interesting stuff. I hate to ramble, but there's just so much stuff. I like the dark and the edgy stuff. Um, this new stuff was really inspired by the Eighth Pillar, believe it or not, by Mike Dando, of Control Domination or Condom. Um, yeah, no, I really like the Eighth Pillar. It's like Middle Eastern inspired. I don't really know the samples. I wish I did, but they're really cool. They're really loud. They're really dark. They're really like mysterious, and like it's really chill. So that's like where a lot of that came from in Stalker. I really like Stalker nowadays. I really like edgy stuff still. I like dark stuff still, but like just let me separate myself from like the real human suffering, because I'm kind of tired of that. We got enough of that in the world, and I'm not really super happy with people suffering more. And like if people have to suffer, like bad people, just keep it away from me, and like let's focus on like building something beautiful, because I'm like as dark as I am, as you know, whatever, I don't really wish harm on people. And yeah, no, that's kind of like the thing. It's just all like I don't really want to like witness stuff like that. I think it's kind of disturbing, you know what I mean? I'm just a chill person. I do my own thing, and that should be the takeaway from where I come from as an individual, as a teenager, into my adult life, because like I feel like my rebellious attitude towards things was definitely influenced by trauma, like genuine trauma, and like that trauma still follows me through my life. But like I've met some people that like really inspired me to take on, you know, my trauma and like become a better person. I talk about this all the time because it's just all like it hurts so much, And I don't want to make the same mistakes as hard as I've made them. It's just all like life's too short to be making mistakes, and life is getting shorter as time goes on, and like just not too happy with the way things are, to be real with you. And I've always been restless, and I've always been like super whatever, and like to an extent too. It's just like as a kid, I knew what I wanted to go towards. It's like as a teenager, I knew that like I knew the direction. I just didn't know the end goal. You know what I mean? I was talking about evangelicism and like Christianity, and like I was talking about all that stuff for years. You guys will never know, but my first project ever, or one of my first projects, all my Doom wads. I have to talk about this one day more, but the idea being that you were being held by a Christian nationalist cult that was making everyone kill each other for like heaven points or something. It's called like the Uncommon Industry or something. It's like Unreal Championship, but like with like Christian fascism, just all like death cult, just like everyone gets to a death match and like just move on and you're good. I have so many projects from back in the day and I don't even want to touch them. You guys are lucky. You're actually not lucky at all, because I still like archive all my stuff. Archived all my Made by Machine stuff, even though that stuff's trash. Still conceptually what would become, my projects later, especially through like stuff like Haunted, which would just become like in vain. But I'm not too proud of that material. It's not good. It's not great. But I find it interesting, and like the stuff that's even worse, or it might even be better. Who knows? But no one's gonna. I don't really care. I don't want to touch upon it. All my old archive stuff from like 2015, 2014, 2013, 2020, or 2012, like when I was in like high school and like, yeah, no, it's weird. Because I don't want to touch upon that stuff. I have to go get my computer out. It's a failing computer. It's a broken computer. I don't know. It's weird. It's hard. I ain't got nothing to say about that, so we're not going to go into that. All the old stuff that I've, like, separated myself from, and, like, I've made it very clear that I don't want to touch upon it. Sorry, guys. That's just how it's got to be. I appreciate it though. It's been a fun one. Me complaining about stuff. I'm just concerned, and I don't want to send the wrong example. I know people are probably here for a while, or they're gonna probably skip out on this video because it's a little long. But I think it's important. It adds a lot of nuance, and like it's nuance that I've stood beside pretty heavily, because I'd like to own up and just say like, hey, this isn't me. And I think it was just like a naive kind of like interpretation of things through the lens of somebody trying to kind of push a square through a round hole. You know what I mean? Hammer a screw in with a hammer. Or I don't know. Like when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. I don't know how to explain it. It just, I don't come from a great background. I really don't. And like, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life that I'm hopefully never going to make again. Progress is non-linear, but I make a genuine effort to at least stay mostly consistent. I don't want to make like really stupid whatever mistakes, and I just want to be like intelligent about how like I perceive the world, and like how I interact with the world, and like with the internet and AI, you know what I mean? Like laziness does You know what I mean? Feel pretty detrimental to the societal model. Um, Hard to build upon that, so I'm not going to. It's way too hard. 50-minute video would turn to a 2-hour video too quick, and I'm done. So I'll see you.